Music has always been an important part of my life, from listening to music, to playing instruments, to even just singing. In my elementary school, the classes that were actually fun were called specials, minus BE. One of the specials that we had was music, and it was honestly one of my favorites. We played with tambourines, rain sticks, and even those hollow music stick things. Also, not trying to brag, but I got a black belt on their quarter, so... Anyways, we had a really cool teacher. Let's call her Mrs. Hallmark. Hallmark was very nice, she was fun, and she made going to music really fun as well. Eventually, she transferred to another school, and we got Mrs. Wallpaper. She wasn't bad, but she was no Miss Hallmark.
Later.
In the 4th grade, I remember one assembly we had about band. We had a band program at our school only available to the 5th graders. They asked for a volunteer to come up and try to blow as loud as you can on a trumpet. My arm shot up with a lot of other kids, but of course only the most coolest and talented kid was chosen. Me. They chose me. The man said, "The principal, blah, 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 is in a meeting. Let's see if we can get his attention, huh?" Mind you, I've never played a real instrument before, especially a trumpet. So I huffed, and I puffed, but nothing. I was so ashamed. How was I supposed to know it was different than just blowing air? The kid that he chose was the wrong one. But guess what? It didn't even matter because they scrapped the program the next year. I'd have to wait until middle school to be in band. So 6th grade finally comes around. I had signed up for band, but not chorus. It turns out that Mrs. Hallmark had actually been transferred to my middle school. Too bad I didn't take chorus. We got to choose any instrument that we wanted to play. And guess which one I chose? The baritone. It was basically a mini tuba. Not many people in our band played baritone, only 2 other people. But I was pretty decent. Okay, to be completely honest, I never practiced. I just picked it up and went with it as soon as class would start. The rest of the year was really fun, other than gym class. Man, I really hate gym class, I said to my friend Sandpaper. Then Sandpaper replied, "Just do what I did. If you take both band and chorus, they don't make you take gym." Oh my God. In 7th grade, I was in both band and chorus, which was conveniently back-to-back in the same room. I couldn't wait to have Mrs. Hallmark again, but she transferred again. But wait, who do I have? It was frickin' Miss Wallpaper! The year was very meh. The music was bland, and one song we sang was "We Are Young" by Fun. But we weren't allowed to say "My friends are in the bathroom getting higher than the Empire State." But another song that we actually did, "Let's Get Physical," a song which is purely about sex. As a 7th grade intellectual, I thought this was complete hogwash. But now, I see looking back, how I am still completely right to this day. Boom. The next year was 8th grade, last year of middle school. Band was honestly starting to lose its luster for me, and chorus was meh at the time. But then something happened that hadn't happened to me in a very, very long time. I got a new music teacher, Mr. Tenate. He was a new type of music teacher to me. He was funny, nice, laid back, and resurged my interest in music. I loved that year, of course. Band got progressively more irritating, so that was my last year. But anyways, back to chorus. Mr. Tenate was talking about an audition-only a cappella group that was called, well, let me just call it Major Admiration, that was offered in the high school. Since he taught in both middle school and high school, he would be running this group as well. I was very interested, but I didn't think I had what it took to try out. Near the end of the school year, though, Mr. Tenate pulled me aside and he told me, "Hey, JOELSEPH, I really think you should try out for Major Admiration." Now, I don't know if this was because of my stellar voice, or the fact that they didn't have many males in the group. Either way, I was pumped. And guess what? I made it. I was finally in high school, and I was so happy to start chorus and to finally be in a real a cappella group. But there was one problem. Mr. Tenate fricking left. The second I got into the group he told me to get into, he fricking left. Guess where he went? Yep, that's right. He was my mom's new boss. I was so lost. Who was going to take his place? Well, actually, 2 people did. For the chorus class itself, since our levy failed and our orchestra was completely cut, they forced the orchestra teacher to teach it. She wasn't too bad. especially for someone forced into a position she didn't want to teach. She, in many ways, was like Mrs. Wallpaper. Someone actually volunteered to take over for the a cappella group, but I had no clue who that would be. It was Mrs. Hallmark. God, I was so happy. This year of major admiration was, to this day, the best I've ever had. It was like a big, loving family, and I personally liked each and every one of the people. There was a camp for Major Admiration in February that lasted for a little less than a week. All of Major Admiration would go there with the pure intention to learn music, and also have a lot of fun. I also brought Cards Against Humanity, which was awesome for a freshman to play with a group of upperclassmen. There was only one problem that year. Ladybugs. They were legit everywhere. They were in the sink, in our beds, even our figgy pudding. We didn't have any figgy pudding. For the next year, we got a new teacher for both course and Major Admiration. His name was Mr. Lucas, without the I. Mr. Lucas was funny, smart, talented, and has inspired me in a way that no other teacher has. Yes, he was stricter than my past teachers, but he was still very fun, and always there if you needed to talk to him about life. Several months pass, and it's finally the day we would leave for camp. I was talking to one of my friends about the trip. Hey, Jake Fisher, I can't wait for this Vocal Talents getaway camp. Can you? I am so ready! Did you bring the Cards Against Humanity? Now at this time, Mr. Lucas, without the I, was listening to our conversation. He walked over and confiscated it from me. I know what this game is, and you can't take it. I was very upset. I mean, I completely understood why he took it away, but still, we were just having fun. I'll give it back to you when we get back from the trip. Thanks. The camp was still really fun, but still. It was junior year. I decided since we couldn't bring the Cards Against Humanity on the trip, I might as well put something else together. Rap battles. I challenged all of the men in the group, still not many, to have a rap battle. Of course, we had to wait until Mr. Lucas, without the I, was occupied. It just so happened to be about the stars. It was pretty cool. So we did the battles, and by audience vote, I won every battle against those who actually accepted my challenge. I also peeved off Jake Fisher to the point where we stopped being friends completely. But that's a story for another day. After the week, word went around that we did the rap battles. So, thanks to me, rap battles aren't allowed at that camp anymore. Senior class was very eventful. Other than being elected choir president, I was also in both choir classes and Major Admiration. That's right, I passed all 4 auditions to this group. Heyo! I was also a tenor up until my senior year. My last audition placed me in baritone, which was cool. I once played baritone, now I sing baritone. But after legit only 1 week, I was moved to the bass section. I was one of 2 people that sang bass in our class. The other was my boy. Let's call him, bra sound effect number 2. Bruh. I also made a custom Cards Against Humanity game based on Major Admiration, with inside jokes and memories and all of that. Mr. Lucas, without the I, loved the idea of it. The name would later be changed to Choirs Against Humanity, which, to this day, I'm still mad at myself for not thinking of that. For camp, we couldn't do rap, and it was my final year, so I had to do something. Around this time, Jeff Ross started a hilarious show that I really liked called Roast Battles. That's it. I needed to hold a roast battle. The judges were myself, my choir VP, which, to be honest, was way more qualified and did a lot more than me, and one of my best friends throughout high school. Let's call him Corby. The VP and me went to Party City to get materials for the battle. I bought a trophy, beads, and a crown for whomever would win. I kept the event very hush-hush and got 8 people to join. I built a small bit of hype, but not enough for Mr. Lucas to know everything in advance. This year at camp, Mr. Lucas was a little more strict with time, so we would have to sneak it between breaks. I asked the contestants to each give me a theme song for them, and I brought my brother's audio bar to play it on. It felt really good to be a judge and also to throw all this together. Overall, everyone had fun, except for a minor detail. I kind of forgot that high school was filled with insecure kids. Mostly minor stuff, but one kid was really pissed. Overall, 7 out of 8 was good enough for me. The final round was incredible. And if it wasn't for Girl 1's last joke, I would have picked Girl 2. There I was ready to give Girl number 1 her prizes. But I couldn't find them. Turns out I left them in my car back at school. The next day I gave her the prizes. One of the roast competitors, let's call him Ark, asked if it was okay to carry on the roast battles after I graduated. I was really flattered. He sent a group text to the next year's people and told them about the battles, but implied it was time to get mean. So yeah, it was shut down very quickly. I really miss the days of choir, from Mrs. Hallmark to Mr. Tenate, all the way to Mr. Lucas without the I. Honestly, if it weren't for those teachers, dare I say, friends, I would not be where I am today. Also, all of the people that have helped me along the way, from friends to family to loyal fans, I want to thank you guys too. I am so thankful for each and every one of them, even Mrs. Wallpaper. So wow, that was my first animation. If you want to see more, make sure to tell me in the comments. Thank you for all the love and support. If you want to see more content, check out my channel and stay a while. If you like music, make sure to hit that sub button. Have a good one, guys.